Let's talk to our very good friend who will talk to us, the Deputy Chairman of the Conservative Party and possibly a future Prime Minister of this country, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. James Cleverly.
Thank you. You know you gently curse my career. Every time you say that, a little part of my career dies.
Yeah, it's not good.
James, the way things are going, you will be begged to be the leader of the Conservative Party before long. Don't you worry. Now, listen. How come you're not controlling the civil servants? What's all this with the chief UK negotiator, Ollie Robbins, talking a little bit too loudly when the media is about?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen the reports on this, and it's not really news that civil servants chat to each other and that kind of stuff. Indeed, when you're a negotiator, talking to other people is an important part of your job. The exact bits of what he said, there isn't a transcript. I've not seen the full transcript. We don't know exactly the circumstances and that kind of stuff. So I'm not really credibly in a position to either validate or otherwise.
All right. Well,
he was saying.
Basically what he's supposed to have said in a bar in Brussels. I mean, I don't think any of you guys, until you've sorted this out, should be going to bars, but that's another story, really. He said the EU was likely to allow an extension to the Brexit process. Well, if there is no deal in the next couple of weeks, which is all we've got, if there is no deal and we come to the 29th of March, are we really going to continue to pretend we're just going to leave without a deal?
Well, this is the thing, actually. So I've always said, and I'm pretty sure I've said it on your show before, but if not, I apologise. I've always said that adding more time just because we haven't made our minds up yet isn't really that useful, because actually what we need to do is recognise that we don't have unlimited time, that businesses want to know what's going on, they deserve to know what's going on, and turning around to them and people who are worried about Brexit and saying, look, we still haven't made our minds up yet, so we need another however long it might be, it's just not useful. So the time constraint, I've always thought, is important because it focuses minds and means people will get on with the job at hand. So,
but it's too late already, James. I mean, a lot of businesses are saying they should have been told what the proposals were 6 months ago, and maybe the government shouldn't have triggered Article 50 until they had more of an idea what was going to happen.
Well, and again, but this is where you get caught in that loop. The EU has always left it till the 11th hour, the final minutes of the 11th hour, to get this kind of stuff done. It's the nature of having these big international organisations. They are slow. Their decision-making is slow. They also said they would not even start negotiating until Article 50 was triggered. So delaying these things wouldn't have actually bought us any more time. They would have just delayed the point at which it all comes to a head and we have to kind of grow up, step up to the mark, and do what we're paid to do, which is make these decisions and get this stuff sorted.
Yeah, but nobody really wanted us to get into this situation. I know you're not going to say anything because you're all singing from the same hymn sheet, but actually nobody really thought we'd get into this situation except a few hardcore headbangers who call themselves Brexiteers, most of them a little barking, if you ask me. Here we are, we're going to ruin the economy fairly quickly. A lot of businesses are going to go to the wall and lots of people are going to become unemployed unless we are very, very careful.
Well, I do think and I don't agree with that assessment. I've always
I know you don't.
I've always felt that leaving without a deal is not the preferred option. Some people disagree with me on that, but I've always felt very strongly that leaving without a deal would not be the best option for us. No. We could deal with it, we could make it work, but it would not be the best option. So
we could do anything, but it's a ridiculous situation that we've got ourselves into. When you consider a few years ago things were going quite well, and everybody said, "Oh, it's Project Fear," and nothing really has happened. Well, we haven't actually left yet. When we leave and the borders close, if we don't have a deal, we will find it difficult.
I think leaving without a deal will make business harder. And I didn't get into politics to make it harder for businesses to, employ people and pay their taxes and keep the economy growing. So my position on this has been consistent that I would prefer us to leave with a deal. The EU also wants us to leave with a deal, and the vast majority of MPs that have reconciled themselves to the result of the referendum want us to leave with a deal. And that's why I think we've still got a really...
All right.
I still think that's the more likely option.
Well, let's play a game. If we get to the 29th of March and there is no deal on the table, and the EU say to you and Theresa, listen, guys, we're nearly there, we're not quite there, but we can't... It would be wrong for all parties, other European countries and Britain, if we don't get a deal. Let's keep talking for another couple of weeks, so we put it off for a couple of weeks. Is that acceptable?
No, here was the phrase you just used, put it off. That's the point I'm making. Because if all you're doing is putting off the point where you have to grow up and make the difficult decisions, then all that happens is you just don't make those difficult decisions for another couple of weeks. We might as well stick with the timetable that we've got. I completely appreciate that for some people it is very disconcerting. I wish it wasn't like this. But the best thing that we can do is stick to the timetable we've got and say, look, let's not just keep delaying this. Let's not keep the uncertainty for business. Let's not keep uncertainty for British people. Let's give them what they want, which is a certainty, decisions that they can actually use. Let's get a deal, sign it off, vote it through, and then get on with all the other...
I understand. But if
James, I don't know if you can hear that, mate.
What?
That's the division bell.
Well, you better go and vote. What are you voting on now?
We are actually voting on some financial agreements to do with Brexit. It's Brexit-related stuff. It's rather technical. It's rather technical financial instruments.
Well, can you vote?
Oh, yeah, I can hear the bell ringing.
Can you vote against it? All right, James.
Vote for it, James.
No, vote against it, James.
Right.
No, trust me. This is good news. This is sensible, pragmatic financial policy.
All right. That means you're going to vote yourselves a pay rise. Okay. James, thank you very much indeed. You're a good sport. James Cleverly, Deputy Chairman of the Conservative Party.